Hello, everybody. It's a beautiful, warm, spring-like day here in East Tennessee in the middle of December. I love warm days in December. Just a few weeks to go till Christmas. And I'm receiving a lot of questions from you all about bud drop on your Thanksgiving cactus. As you know, the stores are just full of these plants this time of the year. They can pretty much bloom anytime between November and December. And so you're finding them in the stores right now, and then you bring them home, and then what happens? Most of the buds drop off of them. And you're thinking, oh my goodness, this was loaded down with buds. What happened? When you change location with a Thanksgiving cactus, the buds will drop. As a matter of fact, I needed to do some watering the other day on my orchids that are behind this huge Thanksgiving cactus. And so I moved it, just a few inches, just so that I could reach my orchids, and some of the buds dropped. These buds are so very delicate. Even when I'm cleaning up my cactus after it blooms, or in this case, in between blooms, I'm very, very careful not to knock my hand up against these blooms, or they will drop easier than you think. So that's a really important thing to keep in mind. So what I suggest you do if you just bought a brand new Thanksgiving cactus and you can't wait for this thing to bloom out, is just take really good care of it, put it on a regular feeding and watering schedule, and usually if you take really good care of them and give them plenty of light, like this one gets, sometimes they will actually rebloom for you in March or for April. Mine are usually in bloom around Easter, so that's an added bonus with these plants. So many times, as a matter of fact, every April I have more blooms. Sometimes they bloom prettier for me in April than they do in November and December. So that's a really good thing. That gives you some hope as well. So let me give you some tips so that you will avoid the buds dropping in the future. Just as soon as I see buds forming, like look at all of these buds. Okay, if I move this one right now, I will lose most of these buds. Even if I move it inside my house, just the sheer act of moving this will jostle the buds and they will drop. So what I do is, as soon as I see buds forming, I don't move the plant at all. That's its home. So make sure before they start budding the next time that you have that in mind, that you've got to have a really, really good home for it, that's where you want it to bloom, in your home or in your grow space. Now here's my other Thanksgiving cactus. These are back here in the back of my sunroom, and I'm thinking that they need a little bit more sunlight. They bloomed okay, but nothing like the one that I just showed you. And do you see there's no new buds that are growing on these at this time? Now that can change at any time. I could get up tomorrow morning and these things might be full of buds. But if I'm going to move them, since they've already bloomed, they don't have any buds, this would be the time to move them if I wanted to. And the other question that you all are asking is, am I still watering and fertilizing them at this time? The answer is yes. These are getting watered about every 4 or 5 days, and then every other time that I water, I fertilize them with that same fertilizer recipe that I shared with you all back in November. I do that throughout the entire year, and these plants just stay lush and green and beautiful. And these bloom just right on time for me for Thanksgiving. So that's another thing that's just an added bonus with that as well. And another reminder about when you're watering and fertilizing is make sure you drain the water out of the dish. If you leave water in the dishes, that will cause the demise of these plants. So I wanted to remind you all to keep draining those dishes. And I think that ends this video. I'm wishing you all many, many beautiful Thanksgiving cactus blooms. Thank you all for being such a blessing to me, and I would love to say the blessing over you all. The Lord bless you and keep you. Make his face shine upon you and be gracious to you. The Lord turn his face toward you and give you his peace. You all make it a great day. We'll see you next time.